solid. Probably not, obviously not happy we won or lost, but yeah. Bodies, yeah, physically, sure, yeah.
How tough was it out there with those guys just teeing off and took 16 hits, 6 sacks, just how physical, aggressive, and everything?
Yeah, they're a really good team. I think on the sack end, there's things that I can help to do to try and get it out as quick as possible, just so we're not in the negative on first and second down. So things, we got to learn from.
So when you look at the struggles for the passing game, drop back a lot, and those struggles, inconsistency in the passing game, what do you attribute to that?
I think here and there's times where, I definitely need to be better and creating completions. And then us, working together to find that. We got to create chunks, explosives. That's sometimes just runners, right? Yards after catch, or maybe that's down the field, but that's also just doing the easy things at a high level. And I think at times, we're not doing that, and that starts with me. But yeah, we got to find answers.
Is it disappointing that you guys, the passing game isn't going the way that you want to? You can't keep going with Quinshon, and that kind of neutralizes what he's able to do for you guys, right?
Yeah, I think it's a balance, right? I think at a certain point in the game we were trying to, catch up in a sense and be more aggressive. So we're a little different in that end. But I think early on we tried to get that going and, of course, take our chances when we can in the pass game.
Kevin said it's a long list of things you guys got to do better. To you, where does that list start?
I think sustaining drives. I think there's a lot of positives in certain areas, and then whether it's a negative play or a penalty here and there that sets us back in a series where you're going to get in third and long, and they've been really good at that in third and long. So at that point, it's a lot tougher to sustain drives. But when we are ahead and being really good on first and second, then all of a sudden, on thirds you're converting, you're building momentum and being able to sustain drives where you're in the plus territory. And then I think when you're in the plus territory, you can't score field. You got to go score touchdowns and not field goals. So I think there's a lot for sure to work on, and we're gonna have to just take it one by one and all get better. But like I said, it all starts with me as well.
Dillon, how do you maintain a steady pocket presence when you're under pressure a lot?
Yeah, I think there's got to be comfort within a pocket, and I think anytime you can operate in that with pressure, there's obviously less guys in coverage, so you want to take advantage of that, but also being able to use and extend plays as well. But I think there's a combination of the two that you got to balance to where you're not moving unnecessarily and creating your own pressure, but then also being comfortable in the pocket when there's games and stunts going on.
Is there anything unique in this atmosphere you haven't seen before?
I think every atmosphere is unique to itself, but as a competitor, you want to continue to make it process-oriented, and there's a job to do and do it at a high level. And you got to play good on the road. Like, we play home games, we play away games, so either way, you got to play good football.
When you're struggling as a whole, how difficult is when you have big drops, big moments, and how do you deal with that?
It's all things we're all going to learn from. I think it's hard to just say there's drops. There's a lot of ways that I can be better to help them, right? And times that we can, work through those certain things. But within plays, it ain't going to be perfect. It never will. But in the moments that we're in, it's a lot more crucial to sustain drives and get catches to keep going. But like I said, I don't want to get it misconstrued. That all starts with me as well.
Dillon, you talk about the negative plays, the penalties in particular. How do you clean those up? Because it seems like the last couple of weeks especially that, you'd have a play and then just this ill-timed penalty that kind of negates any sort of positive momentum you guys have.
It's tough. That's part of playing the game as well, playing penalties. I think limiting, pre-snap penalties is huge, but playing penalties are going to happen. It happened on both sides. So at times we benefited from it as well, but you want to, of course, limit those for sure.
Two more.
I know being young for you guys is not any kind of excuse, but when you look out there and you see all these guys playing their first game, second game, third game, do you feel like as a group, as an offense, that you guys are really going to kind of grow up together, but you sort of have to grow up together pretty fast this season?
You know, I try not to look big picture and just be present. I think other people in our building have the ability to look at that, but for me, it's like, how can we be good right now and be the best version of ourselves? We obviously know that there are younger guys that are hungry and have are gaining experience at the moment. But like I said, there's got to be growth day to day, week to week, and it's got to translate to a better outcome.
You talked about not settling for field goals. So how do you be better, not you, but in general,
Yeah.
be better inside the red zone? And how tough is it when you don't score a touchdown?
Yeah, it's tough. It gets tighter, and coverage is tighter. There's a lot more pressure as well. So I think in that case, you got to be on your P's and Q's and being able to show eyes quicker, getting the ball out. But also, like I keep going back to creating completions. And when you do that, you don't go broke taking a profit, and you continue to move forward. That, 3-yard gain and, plus 10 is huge, or even a 4-yard gain. So just being able to help yourself there, but don't want to. We want to score touchdowns in the red area.
Real quick, you guys are 1-5 now. What is the mindset? Where do you go from here? How do you feel at 1-5? What can you guys do?
Well, the good part is there's a lot to learn from and grow from. So I think we'll have a lot of things to look at and address. So that's positive. But like I said, it has to go back to action and getting work done so that there is a different outcome. Because nobody in the building likes this feeling, and we definitely don't want to keep that wrong. So thank you.